Something felt wrong, but no one said a word.
A quiet room, a warning unheard.
Smiles too tight, a laugh too forced.
Every instinct said,
Change your course. The vibes were off.
The lights were low.
We missed the signs. We should have known. The vibes were off. Hey everyone, welcome back for episode 3 of our brand new podcast, The Vibes Were Off. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Meg. And let's get into it. So today's episode, we are going to talk about Juliane Koepcke. And this is her story on Lanza Flight 508.
Oh, an airplane story.
An airplane story, yes.
So we're not sleeping, we're not getting in our cars, and now we can't fly.
Yep, up in the air. Okay. So Juliane was born on October 10th, 1954 in Lima, Peru.
Nice.
Her parents were well-respected zoologists, Maria and Hans Wilhelm Koepcke.
What a dream job.
Right?
Just like zoologist.
That's my dream.
Play
Maybe
with
not
animals all
here,
day.
though.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the rainforest, but that's a dream. So they actually met while studying zoology in Germany, and they both moved to Peru to study birds and other wildlife native to the area. So Maria was like a big bird person.
That's so cute.
They both loved birds, but her thing was birds all the time.
That reminds me of those bluebirds that went extinct. They were in the movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're back after 20 years.
See?
They're back.
Maria would be the person finding those and saying, hey, guess what, guys?
Cute.
They're over here.
We got them.
Yeah. We love Maria. We love this whole family, honestly. So when Juliane was born, she was the only child and continued to be the only child for Maria and Hans. And her parents were both working for the Museum of Natural History in Lima when she was born.
That's amazing.
And at 14, her family left Lima, left the capital so they could start a biological research station in the Amazon rainforest called
Wonderful.
Panguana.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so cute? So just like a couple fun facts about her parents, because they seem like the sweetest people ever. So Maria's father was actually descended from Polish nobility.
Oh,
yeah, so
very fancy.
Little nobility there in the blood. And then Maria and her husband Hans, they discovered 14 new animals and had several of them named after them, and specifically Maria. So she had the Koepcke screech owl, the Koepcke hairy-nosed bat, and they also had Frost's iguana, which was nicknamed after both Maria and Hans.
I'm dying over here. That's so cute.
Isn't that cute? Like, they just loved, like...
They're just in nature.
People love animals, but they loved, like, the creepy, crawly things that not everybody loves.
I was like, I don't know if I want to discover a bat.
Yeah. No, they were all about it. Bats, reptiles, like, they loved everything. So, yeah, they were just, like, hanging out in the rainforest, which, good on them, because I could not do that.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Not going to be me.
Not me. So back to Juliane. She went again into the rainforest in 1968 with her family. So they moved out there and they were planning to spend 5 years at Panguana, like building the research facility and spending time out there. So they were going to research the local flora and fauna of the area.
That's just the grass.
Yeah,
and the flowers.
like the ecosystem and like how it all connects together and like the animals that were out there. So that was their plan, and they started living in an abandoned wood cabin that was abandoned by some locals. So they had a structure of a house.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, not much.
Sketch.
So they were really like living off the grid. So Juliane spent the next 2 years there learning about the rainforest and learning how to survive in the wild because, again, like they didn't have running water or electricity or anything like that. Jeez. So she had to learn how to survive in the rainforest with her family. And she loved it. I mean, she had a great time there. Like, she was made for that. So, unfortunately, though, after those 2 years, the educational authorities, they were just not satisfied with the education she was getting out there.
I bet it was amazing.
I beg to differ, right? I'm like, first
These
of all,
super smart parents
Right.
Living off the grid, you're getting all this life experience.
Exactly. And if she wants to grow up and be a zoologist, like, this sounds like the best education you could
not good enough. You have to take
possibly get
PE and government.
Yeah. So she right. So she had to return to Lima to get finish her proper education and graduate. So she graduated on December 23rd, 1971.
This is high school.
Yes. Okay. So she went back, she graduated, and they actually had like graduation and a prom. And then so she was done on December 23rd. So just a day later, on December 24th, 1971, Juliane and her mother, Maria, were going to board Lanza Flight 508 so they could be together as a family on Christmas at Panguana.
Oh, so her mom came.
Mom came, Dad stayed back at the research facility.
To watch over the bats.
Yes, to watch over all the stuff that they had going on.
Someone had to.
Somebody had to, right? And so originally Maria wanted to fly on the 19th or 20th to just avoid the holiday rush, get back a little early. But Juliane didn't want to miss her graduation and her prom.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
Yeah. You grew up in the jungle. You're like, can I just have one prom?
Right, right. It's like I was already forced to go back here.
Right.
Right.
Let's just finish it out.
Let me finish it out in style. Yeah, so she was like, I really want to go to prom. And I saw her prom picture, and she was adorable. So she got to do prom. And then, now they're looking at flights on Christmas Eve. So
busy. Pretty
limited as what they were going to get. So really the only choice that they had were these last minute tickets on Lanza. And Juliane's father actually urged them not to take that flight and just come home later because he didn't like Lanza. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this airline.
I need to know about the airline.
Yeah. But Maria just really did not want the family to be apart for Christmas. So she was like...
good intentions.
Yeah. She was like, we're going to be fine. Like, it'll be fine. We'll make it. So, like I said, Lanza. If you're wondering why that was the only flight available and why Hans did not want them to take that flight, it was because they had a very, very bad reputation. So Lanza was a Peruvian commercial airline founded in 1963. The airline,
that's kind of new then. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't around for that long. Yeah. So they had a total of 19 aircrafts like in their fleet.
Okay, small.
But by 1971, they only had one left that worked.
What happened to the other 18?
So all the other aircrafts had been either phased out, lost in accidents, or been grounded as inoperable.
Okay, yeah, maybe listen to Dad. I think Dad is onto something here.
Yeah, and this last plane that they had was actually kind of built with discarded pieces from other airplanes. So
we're just Legoing this thing together.
Yeah, it wasn't the best airplane.
Okay.
But, they said, no, it can fly. So
for a minute at least.
And this was the only airplane that this airline had. So, and they're actively selling tickets to people for plane rides. So they got to have something to put them on. So yeah, here they are with their one airplane. And actually before this day, Lanza already had a bad reputation because they had two major incidents that happened. One on April 27th in 1966 that left 49 passengers dead. So basically like the whole airplane.
So there's no regulations on these airlines?
Well, so Lanza, they just... we're kind of notorious for...
There's what you're getting if you buy a ticket, basically?
Yeah.
Buy at your own risk?
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, too, this is the, late 60s, early 70s. Okay.
So is flying new at this point?
I mean, fairly like that commercially. People were flying. And remember, too, we're in Peru.
Right.
So another thing about this airplane is that it was meant... these types of airplanes that they had were meant for, dry desert type climates and definitely were not built for
rainforest.
Yeah, flying over that kind of terrain, and they were definitely not prepared for the turbulence and thunderstorms and stuff. So
where did they get the pilots from?
Yeah,
that's the next question.
Yeah, it's not great. Some decisions were made. Well, then so they had two major incidents. This one in 1966, and then they also had one that happened on August 9th of 1970. So just a year before, they got on this plane. that left 101 people dead on a plane that was only supposed to fit like 92 people.
Oh, good. So we're just overstacking it too.
Right.
Like, we know these are shady planes, barely gonna make it.
Let's pack in an extra 10 people into this airplane.
Right. They're just like, hey, no carry-ons.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
So, yeah, not a great track record for them. And also, little spoiler alert, Flight 508 on Christmas Eve would be the last flight that this airline ever had.
Right. Well, because you're out of planes.
They would
crash the last one.
They would shut down after this. Yeah.
There's no more.
There really was no coming back after that.
Jeez.
Yeah. So back to Christmas Eve. They boarded the plane and they left just before noon with 86 passengers and 6 crew on board. Juliane sat by the window in row 19. Her mom was in the middle seat and a man sat on the aisle seat, and he like immediately passed out right when they got on the plane.
Yeah, just he was tired. He didn't like.
Yeah, no,
die.
he just he just fell asleep.
You never know.
Yeah. She also, it's funny hearing her talk about this because she like recalls him as being like this super obese, out of shape man who just like plopped down and like passed out as soon as they got on the plane. And I was like, okay, girl, you didn't have to like out him like that.
Right. Like, dang, baby, he was just hungry. We just had Christmas. We're about to have Christmas.
But yeah, so that was who was sitting in her row. So they were flying for about 20 minutes. They got served some sandwiches and some drinks. Oh, so, had their little snack on
Shocking,
board.
they got food and beverages.
Yeah. They gave them sandwiches and everything. So the flight attendants kind of packed everything up. And about 10 minutes later, they entered a thunderstorm.
Ooh.
And began experiencing turbulence.
Yep.
Now, Juliane, she didn't really mind turbulence. So she had actually just went on a trip with like her high school classmates a couple weeks before, where they were flying and they kind of went through some turbulence and everybody else was freaked out. But she was like, I kind of like this. Like
just vibing.
Yeah,
vibing
she was not afraid of turbulence. So, but
as you shouldn't be. It's totally normal and fine.
Yeah, it happens. But her mom was actually not a fan of flying. So she, studying birds, she was like, this is not normal for us to be.
This is not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yep.
This is not,
the gliding
not meant
is not
to
gliding.
fly.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not natural. And she actually had like an acquaintance who, refused to fly his whole life, like would not get on an airplane. And then finally he had to go somewhere. And the plane that he got on went down.
Isn't it ironic?
Isn't it ironic?
It's your first flight.
Don't you think? So, yeah, that gave her the creeps. And then also the last flight that Maria had been on, one of the engines gave out on her flight.
What now?
Yeah, like they landed safely and everything with like the one engine and everything was fine, but she was not keen on flying.
Can we drive back?
Yeah,
to the station?
No, you can't.
Okay. On a boat, something, anything other than flying?
Not really, but it really does make you think like, why would she get on this airplane with such a her husband didn't want her to go on this airplane.
Yeah.
Why did you get on it? But she just wanted to have the family together for Christmas. I get it. Anyway, so they got into a thunderstorm, and here comes the turbulence. And Juliane, she's okay, but then during it kind of picks up, and she's like, okay, this is a different kind of turbulence.
We're in some hail now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, it's the middle of the day, and she said it went dark.
Yikes.
Like it turned nighttime, and there's like flashes, and so she's like, this is not the best thing that's ever happened.
No, we're like in a movie now.
Yeah. So, and they later found out, because they found the black box and stuff, and so they found out that the flight crew actively decided to just push through the thunderstorm instead of turning back.
They're like, yeah, we've been flying for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Well, there's
professionals
conversations about them wanting to be home for Christmas.
Oh,
and so
let's just get through it.
They kind of just pushed through, even though they probably should not have. So they kept pushing on through the storm despite the risk. After about 20 minutes of it being in the thunderstorm, the plane was hit by lightning.
Oh gosh!
Causing it to catch on fire on the
what
right.
Now?
Yeah, the right
you said
wing.
Fire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And remember, we're in the early 70s in Peru on the, not a totally
I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking at all.
So-
My palms are not sweaty.
No.
She said fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lightning struck the right wing and it caused it to separate. So basically the plane kind of blew up a little bit.
Okay. I mean, probably on account of the jigsawed together plane.
Yeah. So hit by lightning, went into a nosedive.
Oh no.
Kind of exploded and
exploded.
crashed into
Okay.
a mountain.
What?
Yeah.
You're just gonna bypass
Just
that.
crashed.
Just right into a mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, obviously everybody is in the plane. And Julian, she remembers all of this.
My gosh.
So she remembers the turbulence and going into a nosedive. She closed her eyes. The next moment she opened them, she was outside of the plane.
Okay. That's a lot.
But still strapped into her seat. So she's in her row, strapped into her seat.
With big guy on one
by
side.
herself.
Oh.
By herself. Outside of the plane.
Can she see the plane?
No, I don't think she could really see anything. So she was turning, spinning.
Oh, she's in the air now.
She's in the air.
I thought we crashed.
No. She's still in the air.
Oh my gosh.
In the air, strapped into the seat by herself, spinning around. So she's going in and out of
What
consciousness.
is that seatbelt, honestly?
Yeah, honestly.
Great.
Honestly. Yeah. So she described it as she didn't leave the plane left her.
Facts.
Is how she describes it. And then she proceeded to plummet 10,000 feet down into the Amazon rainforest.
Okay, but it's heavily treed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So maybe slow her down a little bit.
Yeah, so she
Okay.
made it, right?
Yeah.
Makes it to the ground, still strapped into her chair. So she attributes a couple things to her surviving that fall. So one is during thunderstorms, sometimes there's some air traps that go up, push things up.
Pockets. Mhm.
Right. So she kind of got pushed up into a pocket.
Okay.
And then because of just the way she was in her seat, it was the way it was spinning around kind of helped her slow down as she was coming down to earth.
Right.
And then also the blanketed forest.
The canopy.
The canopy. And also very viney, which helped her a lot coming down to actually come to the ground. So I'm going to kind of talk about this in days as she goes through this. Day one, we're going to talk day one. This is basically after she plummets 10,000 feet to the ground.
She's by herself.
By herself.
There's no other survivors around her.
So not around her.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Juliane, she goes in and out of consciousness a lot after she, plummeted to the ground 10,000 feet. And she recalls having two reoccurring dreams as she drifted in and out of consciousness. So the first dream was about her moving through a dark room fast that was really loud. Almost like the sound of turbines.
Right, falling.
Just very loud and very dark, and she's moving fast through it. And the other one was about her feeling really dirty and needing a bath. And she just kept thinking, if I just wake up, I can go take a bath.
Right.
And so finally,
she's let's wake up.
She wakes up. And when she wakes up, she's unbuckled. She notices. So when she when she came to the first time, she was still buckled in the thing. So in between her coming in and out of consciousness, she must have unbuckled herself or done something.
Try to get up.
So now she's underneath the seats. So the seats are laying on top of her, and she's kind of laying underneath them.
It's like a little shelter.
A little bit.
The seats. Okay.
Yeah. And so she's going in and out of consciousness pretty much that whole first day.
Oh, wow.
So, and remember, right, it was afternoonish when they landed.
Yep.
So
she's a teenager, right?
she's 17.
She's 17.
Yeah.
And you just fell out of the sky. And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
good luck.
Right. And at this point, I think she realizes what happened to her, but she's still putting it together. So we're early day 2 now. So she's woken up. This day, she finally is a little more aware, right? So she's not drifting in and out of consciousness. So she really starts to realize what happened and come to terms with her situation
Yep.
at the moment. So she is soaked and covered in mud because it rained like the whole night after she crashed. Because she's in the rainforest. And it's the rainy season. It's the rainy season. Ugh. So, but she describes not feeling afraid, but just abandoned.
Well, yeah, because she knows the rainforest, right?
Right. So
she's like, this is cool.
She didn't really feel like
alone.
That out of place, but she was just alone, and there was nobody around her.
Right.
So at this point, she can't stand up, and she can't see straight. So she keeps like trying to get up, but she can't.
Oh, poor thing.
Her eyesight is blurry, and she can't physically get herself up. And she doesn't have her glasses anymore. And she was a glasses wearer.
My glasses.
And one of her eyes is completely like swollen shut.
Yeah.
So no glasses, one eye completely out of commission, the other one like very.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
doing her best to just stand at this point.
She can't really see anything. And so she keeps trying to stand up. Finally, she kind of gets to her knees. And then she's able to see because she's got a watch on. Okay. So she looks at her watch and she's able to see that it's 9:00
a.m.
Yes. Okay. Well, she assumes it's a.m.
because the sun's up.
Yeah. So she's assuming here. Okay, this is the next day at 9:00 in the morning. So she keeps trying to stand up. It takes her a few hours. Finally, she gets to her feet. She recognizes right away that her right collarbone is broken.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, she fell 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So it's a miracle that she's alive.
Right.
So she's just trying to she's just trying to assess like what's going on, what's broken. So she's got the broken collarbone, and then she's also got a gash on her left calf, which she said she didn't hurt, but it was about 1 inch deep. It was like 2 inches long, 1 inch deep, but it wasn't bleeding.
So she was that's convenient.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll deal with that later.
Yeah. And what she didn't know at the time, too, she also had a ruptured ligament in her knee. Ouch. But she didn't know it. And then she had a deep cut on her right arm, like on the back of her right arm.
Okay.
So, right arm. So she didn't notice it right away.
Right.
Because it was on the back. And then, obviously, she had a massive concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in all, those being her only injuries... That's pretty good.
That's not bad for falling out of the sky.
Falling out of the sky. That's not bad. She's, sitting there trying to figure out what she's going to do. Her first thought is to find her mom.
Yeah.
Obviously. So she noticed she only has one shoe on. Oh. It's a sandal. So obviously she was dressing,
for the flight.
Right. Not expecting to have to survive in the rainforest.
Oh, poor thing.
She also was wearing like a thin mini dress, which very stylish for the time. But again,
not great for the rainforest.
Not great to be alone in the rainforest.
And you said it was rainy season.
Yes, and it's the rainy season. So, she's looking around. There's no wreckage or really that much debris around her other than her seat that she fell out of the sky with.
Is this one seat or three?
It's like the row. She's got the row.
Okay.
Yeah. But she does find like some belongings of passengers kind of near her. So she finds a fruitcake and some sweets. So she eats some food. A little bit of the fruitcake, but it's rained on and muddy, and she's like, nah. This is not it.
She said, no, thank you.
So she actually leaves the fruitcake behind, which she later regrets. But at the time, she's like, "That's disgusting." So and
she's the bugs are going to be
17.
Worse.
She's like, "I'll take the sweets with me," but so not about the fruitcake. And then for most of the day, she stays around the crash site that second day. So she ventures out a little bit, just looking for anything that'll help her survive right now, and then also calling out for anybody around her.
Well, somebody's got to be looking for her for the plane,
right? She's thinking there's got to be more survivors, right? I can't be the only one. So she's yelling out for her mom, for anybody near her, and she's really just trying to gain some strength on that day because she's got a huge concussion. Yeah. So she's really just trying to get her bearings basically. So she can hear planes above her, but the forest is so thick.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The thing that saved her is the thing that's keeping her from getting rescued.
Right. Yeah.
Because they can't see her.
Right. So she does know that people are looking, but she's like, there's no way that they're going to find me here.
Right. So she's got to go. She's got to move.
Yeah. So it's like pretty late in that second day for her, but she's finally like made the decision. She's like, okay, I can't stay here. I'm not going to be rescued here. There's obviously no one near me,
right?
Alive, at least, because she's not hearing anybody call back. So she decides, okay, I need to go somewhere. So she knows that she needs water, right? So she's licking the water off of leaves, but that's not going to be enough. So she actually hears some babbling water, like, in the distance. So she's like, oh, bet. Fresh water.
River.
So she starts following that noise to hopefully find some fresh water.
Okay.
So she does. She finds, like, a little brook. So she drinks some water and she washes herself. And then she
got her bath.
Yeah. And then
Wonderful.
she thinks about... She did. We love that for her. And then she thinks about something that she learned while she was at Panguana. So there was actually a group of Americans who were, like, out, you know, researching and exploring the rainforest. And one of them shot themselves on accident. And so...
Americans.
Yeah, Americans. So they had to send somebody from the group to go get help. And this kid got lost in the rainforest, but he followed the river, and it actually led him down to Panguana where they were staying, and they were able to help them get help.
Nice.
So she remembered that incident.
So she said same.
And she's like, I need to follow the flowing water.
Right.
And it will lead me to life.
To somebody.
To something, to somebody. Even though she's in the rainforest, and, like, the chances of her coming across people randomly is probably pretty small.
Isolated cabin.
Yeah. So, but she's like, okay, this is a great plan. I found some flowing water. I'm going to follow it. But, you know, it's getting dark. So she's like, I need to find a safe place to sleep. So she finds a safe place to sleep for the night. And, yeah, that's the end of her second day.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going into day 3. And she remembers waking up. And, you know, she's not afraid. And she doesn't even really feel any pain. She just feels alone. Like, she just has this overwhelming sense of being alone.
Just the adrenaline's keeping the pain away. But
yeah,
she's just
I
lonely.
guess so. She's just sad, and she feels abandoned, and she wants to find her mom really bad.
Well, because we're past Christmas now.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, does she know that we're past Christmas, or is she not even thinking about that?
No, she's able to kind of keep track of the days. So she knows that it's like the day after Christmas now. And she knows that people are looking for them. Yeah. So really she's trying to get herself to a place where she can be found. Right. Either that or, like, finding other survivors. Because, like, in her mind, she's like, there's got to be other survivors.
There's, so like, she's 100 people on the plane.
Right. She's just trying to find the other survivors and, like, the other parts of the plane. Okay. At this point. So at this point, she's like, I just need to get out of here. So she starts following the flowing water, but it's pretty slow moving because there's lots of, like, debris and fallen trees and all these things. So she doesn't want to get too far away from the water, like, as she's trying to maneuver around stuff, but sometimes she's got to go, like, pretty far out to get back. But the river starts getting wider. Okay. And so at some point she decides she's just going to wade into the river. Ooh. So, and again, you know, she knows of the rainforest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think she also knew that, like, she was probably a little bit safer in the water than, like, on the land. You know, thinking about the wildlife here. Creatures and vines and snakes. Yeah.
But I don't know, what do they got in the water?
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff in the water. So
it's a tough decision.
But she knows, and she's, like, taking the precautions. So as she's, like, walking through the water, she's taking her sandaled foot and going first with that. So at least she has something to protecting that foot. And she's also got, like, a walking stick. So she's poking in front of her. Okay. Just making sure that she's not stepping on anything that could hurt her. Again, she's, like, hearing the planes, and then she finally gets to a place where, like, a little bit. She thinks like maybe they can see her.
Okay.
And there's a moment where like she's waving her arms and screaming and throwing things, and that like one of the planes like hovers there for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, she's like, they're coming.
And then it flies away.
Oh no.
Yeah, so she kind of gets, a little bit sad there.
That's devastating. Because you already feel lonely.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, they're never going to see me.
Exactly. And it's kind of at that point, too, where she's like, okay, I can't rely on them to find me at this point, so I'm going to have to get myself out of here.
You go, girl.
Important to note at this point, so, we're on day 3. There is a giant search effort going on to find this plane that's went down. So people are looking.
They were like, remember that airline that always goes down?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got another one.
It went down. So people are looking for the wreckage, but they're also having a big problem with like wrong information. So like they kept getting leads in, like, oh, this person saw something over here and this person saw something over there. And so it's like kind of taking them into like the wrong areas of where they should be looking.
Well, and it sounds like they're pretty far spread out. Like all of the survivors or victims or whatever in parts of the plane have to be everywhere.
That also is true.
Yeah.
So search efforts are not going great. And actually they had to go on like a media blackout because they were getting so many wrong tips in. But unfortunately that kind of left the family members of everybody on there kind of like wondering what was going to happen. And they actually got together and like created a search party to go out and look for their family members. So there's great efforts going on to find them, but it's
hard.
not. Yeah. They're not going to find them. So, and in fact, like they never would have found this plane wreckage had Juliane not survived.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they were that far off from finding it. Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah. So, and then on day 3 is when she finds the first piece of wreckage of the plane crash that wasn't her seat. So in the river, as she's like wading down, she finds one of the turbines.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like a giant turbine. And you're like, okay, well, on the right path, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what she thought. So like didn't scare her. It didn't like make her really like realize what had happened to her. It just made her like hopeful that she was going to find other survivors.
Right.
That was really the only thing going through her mind. But then she, kind of spent the rest of that day not finding much else. So we're on to day 4. And she is, again, wading through the river, just kind of following that flowing path. And kind of out of the corner of her vision, she hears something very familiar. And it's not something that she wants to hear.
I knew it. There's a bat coming, isn't there?
It's not a bat. Oh. It is the wings of a king vulture.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So she hears that and she's like, something's got to be close.
There's trouble.
Something's got to be near. And so like kind of right after that, she comes around a river bend and she finds another row of seats.
Okay, we got a row.
So she finds a row.
Not great with the vulture, though.
They are kind of dug into the ground head first. So there's 3 people in this row, heads kind of buried and feet sticking up.
Oh
so
she's 17.
She's 17.
And on so much.
On one hand, she's like, I guess kind of like excited that she's found something. Mm-hmm. But obviously it's devastating to find. And then her next thought is one of these my mother? Which later she's like, obviously not, because she was in a row with me, right? It didn't make any sense. But in that moment, she went and checked. She just couldn't help herself. She had to know. So she actually looked at their toenails, because her mom's toenails were painted or something. Like she knew she could tell from the toenails. So, but she looked and it wasn't. And so she almost felt like a sense of relief that it wasn't her mom. But then, she felt really bad for thinking that.
Right.
So, but she was like, I'm not going to stick around too long because that vulture's coming in for something.
Nature. We'll be naturing.
Yeah. So, yeah, she doesn't find much else, but that is pretty scarring. And something that sticks with her like the rest of her life.
Wow.
So that's pretty much all that happened on day 4. And then day 5 through 8 is kind of like all...
8? Just casually? She's still in the rainforest?
She's still there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's still like battling her way through the jungle. She's encountering a lot of stuff she doesn't want to be encountering. There's stuff on the land that, she doesn't want to be near. But she also knows that, like, they're not going to mess with her if she doesn't mess with them, right? Like, she's very respectful of the area that she's in, and she knows what to do. So, all said, she's holding up pretty well for the situation that she's in. So, in the water, she's dealing with stingrays, caimans.
Oh my gosh.
Tarantulas, snakes, piranhas. But again, she's not really like that scared of them. She's just being cautious.
Okay.
I mean, she's a boss.
Couldn't be me, honestly.
Could not be me.
37, I'd be freaking out.
The fear would have me still back at my seat, huddled underneath.
You're going to hide here and hope someone comes.
Exactly. No, I would be dead by now because I would not have found fresh water.
Wouldn't even made it to the fruitcake, honestly.
Honestly, absolutely not. So, and at this point, so we're on days like 5 through 8. She still hasn't really eaten anything. So she had those sweets and like that bite of fruitcake, but she hasn't found anything else that she can eat because everything she needs is like either up too high in the trees or she needs a tool to open it. Like, she knows what she could eat in the rainforest.
Right.
But none of it is available to her. She can't start a fire. She can't do anything. So, but she says that she wasn't even really hungry.
Yeah. Well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Your body's like still running on adrenaline. And you're like, we got to find other stuff.
Yeah. So she's making sure she's drinking enough water, but that she really is not eating the whole time that she's going through there. And then she's also got the added issue of bugs just constantly all over her. Mosquitoes, other bugs. It's constant. So she talks about when she would sleep at night, she would like come off the river and find like a tree or something that she could put her back to protect her. And then she put leaves over her. And when it wasn't raining, the mosquitoes were just everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
And like bugs just everywhere. When it was raining, it felt like little like knives poking into her because it got cold at night.
Oh.
And so like the leaves did nothing.
A tiny dress.
Right. So she was like, either way, it was miserable at night, either, whether it was raining or it wasn't. And so she was just covered in bug bites. And she actually finally kind of like checked out her arm around this time.
Oh, okay.
And noticed that it had some botflies in it who had laid larvae, and there were like maggots.
Oh no.
In her open wound on the back of her arm.
Okay.
And at this point she's like, she doesn't want to get like blood poisoning or something.
Right.
And she's worried that she's
trying to get him out.
Yeah. But like, what are you gonna, she can't really even see it. Yeah. So she's kind of in a pickle there.
You're just like, well, we'll see.
Yeah. And so at this point, she is feeling pretty apathetic. She's just kind of letting the river take her. So not as much like fight in her anymore. She's exhausted. She's hungry. She's injured.
It's been a week.
It's been a week by herself. Yeah. So she is going down the river thinking, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Right.
So here we go, day 9.
Oh my gosh.
So she is laying down on a bank and she's kind of dozed off. She remembers that when she laid down, she didn't really see anything. But when she woke up, she saw a boat.
A boat? Great.
On the river, like parked
Let's go.
on the river.
Okay.
And she thought she was going crazy. Because she thought she was hallucinating. Cause,
I see.
Yeah. So she actually went up and touched it just to make sure that it was real. And she was like, oh my gosh, it is. And like next to the boat, there was an embankment, but it was up, kind of uphill a little bit. Not like crazy, but she was so tired that it took her a couple hours to get up like the little embankment up onto the path that the boat was at. Yeah. So
is she trying to find the people that were in the boat, or where is she going up there?
She sees a path. She sees a boat. She sees a path, and she has lived in the rainforest before, she knows that path probably leads back to where they're living or staying.
I would have just taken the boat, to be honest. Like,
right. Well,
let's go.
In her mind, she thought, if I take this boat, I'm stranding these people in the rainforest. She's
such a good person.
She's such a good person that she's
like dying, and she's like,
I can't do that.
These people.
Right.
Before I leave.
Right. She didn't want to abandon them. So she walks up, or crawls really up there, and she's so tired that she finds a little hut, which is great. And she's so tired she just like falls asleep. She like gets in the hut and she falls asleep.
Yep.
At one point she like wakes up and she's like hungry, I guess, at this point. And she's thinking either she's hungry or she's just like, if I don't eat, I'm going to die.
Right.
And she's thinking about eating a frog. So she sees all these frogs like hopping around, and she's trying to like grab them to eat them, but she can't. She doesn't have the strength.
Just like raw dog
to eat it. Yeah. But she
like
just
can't cook it, kill it. Like just...
Yeah. She would have ate it, but she just like couldn't even get one. She was so weak.
Oh no.
So I think she like fell asleep again. And then when she woke up, there were 3 native lumbermen from the area. And they found her in the little hut, and they were like,
good guys or bad guys?
They're good guys.
Oh,
yeah. But they're like, what is she doing in this little hut?
Like,
who are you?
Dead?
Why are you here? So they see all of her injuries, and they actually start like pouring gasoline.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. So didn't know that.
That's a remedy?
Yeah, to help get the larva and the maggots out of her open wound.
Okay.
Yeah, but that worked. So it helped.
Great. Love to see it.
And then, but again, like they're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So they put her on the boat, and they take an 11-hour boat ride to the nearest like little town. And even that is like a town that doesn't have a hospital. So they like help her as much as they can, and then they airlift her to a hospital.
Well, they're able to call for help.
Right.
Oh, thank goodness.
And she gets airlifted, and she gets to a hospital where she spends a couple months.
What luck to run into that boat.
I know.
If they just gone...
The chances of her finding somebody were so slim.
But it was one person in 9 days?
Yeah.
9 days.
9 days she was out there. And I mean, thank goodness that she found the boat, that they were there. Because I think the lumbermen were talking about like they weren't even supposed to be there that day, that the weather had prevented them from like leaving, like because they were going to leave their encampment.
Right.
But they couldn't. Like they got held up there for an extra day.
Karma there.
So, I mean, thank goodness. Cause
she would needed them.
Not have made it.
But she's only one of the 90
Yeah. So
people.
She finds later, like when she's in the hospital, that everybody died.
What?
So she was the sole survivor. She was the sole survivor of this flight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's the 17-year-old kid coming home from high school graduation.
Yeah.
Was the sole survivor.
The sole survivor of this aircraft.
Oh, but how tragic.
Yeah.
So her mom didn't make it.
Her mom did not make it. And they said there were like, because, you know, she had a rough time with the media after this coming out. Because there were a lot of stuff that came out about her. They said like, she left survivors and like...
Why would they say that?
It was crazy. But they did find out because, you know, they eventually like, found people.
Okay.
And they said, I think at least 14 of them did survive the impact of like falling.
Yep.
But then like succumbed to like their injuries or starvation or whatever over the day. So
and who knows how to live in the rainforest?
Right. Well, and Maria was one of those who did survive the crash, but didn't survive like her injuries. So I think like Juliane, she had a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
About like if she could have found her.
Guilt.
If she could have found her mom, would she have been able to help her?
Well,
but
they found her mom then? They were
they found
her mom.
Yeah, the bodies.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
I believe
they found
so.
everybody?
I think that they did.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then so that's the story of her survival.
That's amazing.
She did write a book about it called When I Fell from the Sky.
Yep.
And I am about halfway through that, and it is an amazing book.
I imagine.
An amazing tale to read because she tells you all about her life before and after. And so great. And there's also a documentary called Wings of Hope. And it's got a neat little connection. So the director of that, Werner Herzog, he was actually supposed to be on the flight with her. Yeah, so he was directing a movie in the rainforest.
Wow.
And was actually like upset that he couldn't get on that flight. Well, he was scheduled for a different flight that got canceled. So he was trying to like bribe his way onto this flight.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You're trying to bribe yourself and they're like, it crashed. And you're like, oh, thank goodness. Yeah. I didn't have an extra $100.
Right. Well, they're just,
say yes.
They wouldn't let him on the plane.
Wow.
But he was supposed to be on that plane.
And then he directed a movie about it.
Yeah. Well, he was actually directing a movie like at the time that she was going through the jungle. So like in that time frame, they were like not even like a couple miles away from her. Oh my goodness. So they're like filming this scene in the rainforest and she's for this
living
movie.
It for real.
And she's trekking through.
Wow.
Yeah. There were like weird moments when she was like going through this that like at one point if she would have turned a different way, like she would have found somebody like not that far away. Yeah. I mean, just a crazy, crazy story. So he ended up directing the documentary about the incident with her and they actually brought her back.
I would say no, thank you.
Yeah, they brought her back. Set. She sat in row 19 on the airplane that she got on in the window seat.
I mean,
to go and like walk. She walked the path that she took.
Did it say how long the path was? Like, how far did she walk?
I can't remember exactly how long it was, but it was a long way.
It's like miles and miles.
They have like a plaque in like the little town like nearest to it that has like the journey that she made.
Wow.
Through. Yeah.
That's so cool.
She went through and then she actually went and she visited one of the lumbermen that saved her. Because I think the other two had already passed away at that point because this is years later.
Okay.
Yeah. Because for a long time she stayed out of the media. She didn't want anything to do with like reporters or anything like that. Right. So it took him a long time to convince her to do the documentary. But she found him and he actually, it was kind of crazy. So the lumberman was like commissioned to go actually and like find pieces of the plane or something like that. So he was kind of going through the forest and he actually stepped on a stingray and almost died. Like she like was on like the side of the river for a couple days injured and almost died and a boat passed by and
oh my goodness.
They wouldn't let him on the boat without payment. So he had to give them his shotgun to be able to get on the boat to save his life.
Tough out there.
Yeah. So, but when she came, she actually went and she bought the rifle back for him. Aww. And like came to visit him and gave him his gun back.
Wow. But also crazy that she didn't run into that because what would she have given them? She's like, I don't have anything.
Right.
I don't have a toll.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Can you just save me, please?
I mean, this is like years later where it's like a little bit more inhabited on like that river. But like, because back when she was on, like, there was nobody around.
Wow.
Yeah. Because like when she's going through the river and kind of tracing her steps, she like sees other people. There are like people living there now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, what a great story.
That is the story, yeah. And she's a zoologist.
Oh, of course she is.
Yeah.
Is her dad still around?
He died in 2000. Okay. So he lived, after like all this happened, they actually went back to Germany. Oh. And they had like a pretty strained relationship. He just couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
But he ended up like being a professor at a university in Germany and but yeah, she is a zoologist. She went back to Panguana and helped with that, and that's what she does. And she got married, and she's living a great life.
What a great story. Yeah. And just to survive falling out of the sky, you can do anything.
Yeah.
After that. Yeah. You're like, this is fine. But this is easy.
Yeah. Well, she often says, she's like, it's crazy that like that one thing that happened to me defining my life.
Right.
She's like, everybody wants to talk about it. And she's like, she's really funny. Because she's like, you know, when people tell me like, oh, this happened, or like, what advice would you give to somebody trying to survive? And she's like, I don't know. I would have to see the environment. She's like, I can't just like blanket statement give you survival tips.
I don't know.
That's not really how it works.
Yeah. Like, I had a concussion. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then there's like another story of like a really young girl surviving a plane crash, and the media was like, what advice would you give to her, like, going forward on, you know, surviving? And she's like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to give her any, like, pointers for how to live her life or how to move on from this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You got to work through it.
Right. She's like, there's nothing special about me that I feel like I can give people life advice or, like, tell people how to survive. Like, it's just a thing that happened to me, and she kind of wants to like move on with her life, and
that's good.
That's what she's doing.
Love that.
Yay.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to episode 3.
Yes.
This has been so much fun. Reach out to us on our TikTok. We are The Vibes Are Off Podcast.
Or on Instagram at The Vibes Were Off.
Or if you're a millennial like us, send us a Gmail at thevibeswereoff@gmail.com.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, love ya.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube.
You can also find us on Instagram at The Vibes Were Off, TikTok at The Vibes Were Off Podcast, or good old-fashioned email at thevibeswereoff@gmail.com.